All right, good evening, everybody. Seems like we're waiting to get a few things going. How you want to put the presentation mode on for us on the PowerPoint?
Is it not showing for you?
It is just it's in like just reads. It doesn't have the presenter. Yeah, there you
Uh, uh,
go. There you go. Oh, three to the right, three to the right.
it's not sharing the right screen, I think.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right, we're going to give everybody a minute here to get logged in. It seems like we're getting quite a few people coming in. All right, well, everybody, thanks for joining tonight. We're excited to spend a little bit of time with you. My name is Brian, if we haven't met. And tonight you're going to be talking to myself and Howie.
Is it showing properly for you now?
Still on the presenter mode. There you go. Oh, presenter. Oh yeah,
Yeah, it won't let me.
that's fine. Right there. Thank you.
All right.
All right, great. So yeah, so kicking us off tonight, we're going to be talking about websites. So myself, as I mentioned, my name is Brian. If we haven't met, maybe we'll see you in Las Vegas in the next few weeks. I'll be out there with some of the team members from Limo Anywhere. So myself and Howie, who's our director of web development, are going to be talking about websites. We have a few things to cover tonight. Some really interesting content, some industry trends as well. And really emphasis tonight is on the website. So if you don't know about the Limo Anywhere marketing team, we're a team of more than 50 amazing marketers. We have been investing for some time in building the marketing infrastructure at Limo Anywhere to bring great technology and great marketing to our customer base and marketing that speaks to our software as well. So we're really excited about the things that we're doing today and what we have coming in the future. We have some really innovative pieces to the marketing platform on our roadmap, and you will learn more about that as time goes on. Or we'll actually be talking a little bit about that at conference. So excited to share some more around that. So how if you just give us a push through the slide. So we'll go to the next slide here. So some familiar faces. So you've got Howie, myself. James is not going to be joining us tonight, but many of you know him. He's always involved in some of the great work that we're doing behind the scenes for our customers and our clients. So for today, on the next slide, we're going to talk about kind of, as I mentioned, the websites is going to be the core of today's discussion or tonight's discussion. So we've decided we're going to put together or we're going to roll out a series of mini webinars on specific products in the arsenal that we have to help you and your business grow. So instead of talking about everything in one pass, we're going to break it into small bite-sized pieces so you can gain understanding of the importance of each element of the marketing platform that we are providing for our customers. So we're going to talk about websites in today's, but we'll talk about at the end of this webinar, we'll share some of the upcoming series that we're going to be hosting as well. We're going to kick off tonight just talking a little bit about marketing trends. Really important for you to stay with us here because there's so many things happening in the world of AI and just trends that are impacting our businesses. And of course, marketing is a lifeblood for many of us in our transportation businesses, and we certainly need to be abreast of all the changes and innovation happening around us. After we talk about marketing trends, Howie's going to take us through premium websites. We're going to talk about the technology and the tech stack that we use and the importance of it, the security, reliability, and accessibility of websites and how that plays out in growing your business and driving new revenue for your business. So that's kind of the main theme for tonight. And then we'll close again with some of the topics in our next series. We'll talk about a few of the other pieces of our product line that we're going to explore. So to kick us off, let's get into trends because this is really hot. I've been talking about this and probably over the past 3 months. This has become really a piece of the thought leadership that we all need to be considering. So I've given you 3 bullets here, and I'll start with the first one, and I'm going to talk about AI, and I'm going to take everybody's eyes to the right side of this screen. And you see, there's an article in the Wall Street Journal. This came out in November last year, 2024, talking about search and AI. And so one of the important statistics is that by the end of 2024, now it's probably a little bit more, but by the end of 2024, 25% of all searches online come through some type of AI or generative AI tool, right? So whether it's Chat GPT, how many of us search for something on Chat GPT or Gemini today, or Copilot with Microsoft? OpenAI itself has rolled out a formal search engine now to help us find things and learn about things that we're searching for. Why is that important to you? Because AI and the long language models that are being used in search now, and just about every search platform, including the standard Google platform, has AI in their algorithm. It's important to you because if you don't have the right technology and you don't have the right digital assets out in the sphere of the digital ecosystem, you're going to miss those leads. You're going to miss those rides. You're going to miss those people that are searching for the things that we provide. Okay, so if we're not staying up with AI and we don't have the right infrastructure on our technology, and websites happens to be a big core of that, then we're going to start losing market share to our competitors who are staying abreast of these AI changes and shifts in the industry and in the marketplace. So that's a very important piece for you. Number two, um, digital advertising itself is growing like crazy, right? And so if you're not staying up to speed with that, like if you're not making sure you have your assets in the proper place, if you're not, fine tuning your websites or your digital ads or whatever it is, you're going to miss the opportunity to capture market share because everybody's focused on it. And so we have to be focused on it or our competitors are going to get us. So really important for us to be tuned in to digital and the assets we have out there in the digital ecosystem. And then lastly, and I think this is really important, I think back to the iPhone. I don't know, it seems like it forever ago, but the first iPhone came out close to what, 2007, 2008. That was the first one, right? And since then, things have been moving in such a rapid pace in the marketing landscape. 99% of all people are on their phone for a certain number of hours a day, for example. But they are saying that the shift now with AI over the past 2 years is even faster in terms of movement. So again, if we're not doing the right things digitally now and being focused on building the proper infrastructure digitally to speak to the AI tools, we're going to get left behind. So it's important. You're going to hear us at Limo Anywhere talk about this all year. We're going to continue to hit you with this because it is so vital to the success of your business and you driving new leads and driving new revenue and new customer acquisition. So those are just some of the core industry trends that we're going to think about. And again, as I pass it over to Howie, he's going to talk about security. How secure your site is a signal for AI, right? They're not going to present results or even think you're credible if you don't have the right technology in place to make sure your site is secure. Secondly, if you're not, if your site is not accessible, there's a lot of flags and signals that Google search and ChatGPT look for in terms of accessibility. Howie can talk more about that in just a minute on the things you need to do in that front. And then lastly, reliability. If you're not using the right tech stack and you have outdated plugins, for example, on your website, you're going to get penalized by whether it's the search engines themselves or even the AI search tools. So as Howie talks about security, reliability, and accessibility, all this plays into the future of your business growth. So Howie, I'm going to pass it over to you and let you talk about websites.
Perfect, thank you. So yeah, as Brian mentioned, the three main topics of today's conversation is going to be security, reliability, and accessibility. Without those three things, your website is just not going to perform. So I'm going to go into a little bit of depth of all three of those. My main focus for tonight, a lot of people are like to use WordPress. They think WordPress is the direction to go. I'm going to show you guys why our platform is actually better. And just based on my experience, I've been doing this for over 15 years now. I've used WordPress in my past, so I have a lot of experience with it, of the things that can possibly go wrong. So I look forward to sharing this information with you guys. So, as we said, here's the three things: security, reliability, and accessibility. For security, th the main thing is making sure that your site's secure, protecting you from cyber attacks, from data breaches, malware attacks. It's ensuring that the information that you're collecting on your websites is secure. If you're collecting transactions through the Limo Anywhere software, that all that stuff is secure and working properly. The last thing you want is your site to get hacked. Someone is going to be able to take all that information from you. And they could even replace stuff on your website to redirect people to other things, to collect credit cards and other stuff like that. So without having a true understanding of what your website is, there's a good chance it's not secure. Reliability, making sure that your site is up and performing at all times. If you don't have a reliable server, it's chances that you'll have downtime, your site can go down. Who's monitoring that for you? Who's supporting that? Who's fixing those issues? It also is the way that your infrastructure is built. Is it fast? Is your site loading quickly? A lot of times, if you don't do things properly, and you go to the site, it will take a while for the images or videos to load. Every second that it takes your site to load, it's most likely that that person's going to leave your site and move on. Um, the third topic is accessibility. This is something that a lot of people don't really know about. It's something that I've studied a lot over the past couple of years, especially in states like Colorado, California, and Florida. There's been a lot of lawsuits. Colorado is probably the biggest one of the major concern right now. They've passed a lot of laws in reference to this. So if any of you are in Colorado, I definitely recommend you listening to this part of the conversation. Your site has to be accessible. Just like if you went into a restaurant or into a hotel or anything like that, the building itself has to be accessible for all people. Your website's the same concept. So if someone is blind, maybe they are colorblind, they might have some sort of cognitive, like dyslexia. All that stuff has to be accessible to them on your website. So maybe they use a screen reader or they use certain keys on their keyboard. It has to be able to adapt to those disabilities. So our platform focuses a lot on that. We even partnered with a company called AudioEye to enhance the accessibility of your websites. So just a brief overview. Like I said, most people know what WordPress is, but just in case, if they do not, WordPress is an open source CMS. CMS is content management system. It actually, 40% of websites are actually using WordPress. So that's a huge part of the marketplace out there. But that also leads to saying that it's the most targeted by hackers because of how popular it is. It's the most popular one to get hacked. And if you're not keeping your site secure, and that means is keeping your themes up to date, your plugins up to date, your PHP, there's a whole bunch of stuff involved. A lot of people have to manage that themselves and they don't manage it. And that's when your site becomes vulnerable. So if your site becomes vulnerable, that's when you're going to start having issues. And a lot of times you might not even be aware of it. It could be behind the scenes, and stuff is happening without you even knowing it because the site will still look the same, where in some cases the site will go down or they might have actually changed your website. So stuff to kind of think about. If you are using WordPress, please make sure that you are keeping it up to date. Our platform is actually a cloud-based platform. So all those things that you have to keep up to date in WordPress is obsolete. We do not have to worry about any of that Everything is staying up to date on a daily basis automatically. We don't use any third-party plugins. We don't use any third-party softwares. Everything is built within the platform. So you're going to have a much better, more secure experience with your platform. And it's also designed and built for businesses. One thing I forgot to mention on the WordPress slide is WordPress was not designed for businesses. WordPress was actually built for blogging. Over time, people have adapted it into becoming a business platform. But in order to do that, you have to add in a lot of third-party plugins, where this platform that we're using was specifically designed for businesses and businesses that want to do well in Google.
Hey, Howie, just a quick interruption before you get
Yep.
into comparison. I see some questions coming in. So we're going to save a little bit of time to answer some of these questions. I know this gets a little technical, so we'll save a little bit of time at the end to answer questions. Also, we have there's a link in the chat if you want to get an analysis of your digital presence. We have a team. You can set up a demo to have them go through this with you and help you take a look at some of these things. So I know that's in the questions. So just check the chat if you want to get that link to get that consultation and analysis of your digital space. So sorry, Howie, I meant to say that at the beginning, and now questions are coming in. So
Yeah,
please
no
please
problem.
continue.
Perfect. Thank you. So now I'm just going to give a quick little comparison. Start with security and work my way down. So I kind of briefly talked about a little bit of this stuff, but figured you guys can kind of see it hand in hand. So for WordPress, as I mentioned, for security, you do need to install a lot of plugins and themes in order to make WordPress work for your business. So if you're not keeping that stuff up to date, like I mentioned earlier, it's going to make it so it's not secure. So it does require a lot of manual updates, um, and like I mentioned before, there's if you don't know what you're doing, you don't understand the back end of WordPress, that's when stuff gets injected. So you have to really know how to dive into the SQLs and the PHP. I unfortunately had to do this a lot at a previous company, and which is why um, I did not want to use WordPress moving forward, because once you have figure out how to fix a site, you never want to deal with it again. So our sites, once again, you do not have to worry about that. We automatically include the SSL certificate, so your site will have the HTTPS to protect you. And then our hosting infrastructure is secure, and we have an engineering team sitting behind us to monitor everything and to always make sure that everything is working properly. As far as reliability, um, our sites are hosted on a Google Cloud. So that's going to allow for fast, reliable websites. We have a 99.9% uptime. I've actually have never actually seen it go down. So I just don't want to guarantee 100%, but we are pretty near close to it. With WordPress, it just depends on what server you're using. There's a lot of different server companies out there, and some of them are reliable, some of them are not. So just be careful on who you're using. Um, and our system is meant to accept all traffic. It doesn't matter how many people you have visiting your website, we can support that. So if you have high volumes at certain times of the day or even at certain months, it's ready for that traffic. So there's no need to adjust anything. It will handle it for you. And as I mentioned, unlike WordPress, we're not using the third-party plugins, which will help optimize the site and prevent it from having any issues. And the third topic that I mentioned earlier was the accessibility. As I mentioned, this is something that is very crucial. It's something that is becoming, this has been around for a long time, but it's something that just recently has really come into a lot of the different industries. So it is something to definitely consider. with WordPress, out of the box, WordPress is not ADA accessible. A lot of their themes are not accessible. So in order to make your site accessible, you really have to know how to code certain things or rely on a lot of third-party softwares. Our system out of the box is very user-friendly for the accessibility. And then because we are adding in the audio eye on top of that, our sites are about 97+% compliant, which is what you need to be at to prevent any lawsuits that might come about for these type of situations. So I can go into a lot of depth about accessibility. That might be another webinar. So we can discuss that later. If you guys do have questions about it or concerns about it, we can definitely schedule something to go over it. So this is actually one of our existing customers that we had on WordPress, and it's a 2-year chart that you're seeing here. So back in August of 2024, we have actually moved them from WordPress to our platform. And because of the new platform and the technology we're using, you could see how the organic traffic boosted. And Brian could probably help me out and go a little bit further into details about this, but you could see that it was pretty flatlined. So their traffic was kind of stagnant between the years of 2023 to August of 2024. But once Google recognized the changes that we made to the site, that we made it more secure, that we made it more reliable, that we improved the accessibility, it was a newer technology as well, so it had better structure to it. The organic traffic skyrocketed. This is only by switching the website platform. We did not do anything else different. So there was no additional ads, there was no additional SEO. This is just straight out of the box, us upgrading to a new platform.
And yeah, Howie, just like thinking about that a little bit more since you mentioned it. So this particular client of ours was using an agency, and the agency was not doing a great job of keeping the things in WordPress up to date and all these types of things. It was really impacting their organic traffic. So that switch just alone, threw out all the signals. And one thing just about accessibility that Howie mentioned, that's a signal to Google that this is a proper website. This is a trustworthy source. So just having the signal, not to mention all the practical benefits of having the accessibility and the prevention type situations, it's also a great signal for Google to say this brand or this company or this transportation company is a reliable source. I should present them out in an organic way.
And then this diagram here just also goes into reference about how things have improved by using this platform. So you could see that the performance rating and the structure has, so I wish we had a screenshot of what it was with the WordPress so you can see the difference. But a lot of times with WordPress, because of the way it's coded, the performance and the structure are much lower. So we are hitting the A level with the GT metrics. I do suggest that you go to GT metrics, you do rate your site, get a report. If you want help with it, we can probably help you with that as well. But you can just see that we're at the top
Yeah.
level.
Yeah, so great scores here. And yes, you can go to GT Metrics, go ahead and put your site in there and check it out. If you do book a time with Brian Kalinowski on our team to go through some analysis, he'll show you some more in-depth type stuff around that search and those types of things. But this is a great first pass to see how you stand.
So this is just kind of a little overview of what I kind of talked about. I won't read the bullet points, but as you can just see, our sites versus WordPress are definitely going to be more secure. They're going to be more reliable. The accessibility is top notch. What I did not talk about is the last 3 bullets. Ease of use. WordPress has a steep learning curve. If you don't know what you're doing, it could be very hard to edit your website and make changes and to keep it up to date. With ours, it's a very simple drag and drop builder. If you want to change out content, you just click the content section and you see the layout of your website is how you edit it. So if you want to change it to image, you could just click on it and edit it. There's very little learning curve, and then we're here to support you as well and help you out. So it's a big difference from having to try to do this all on your own. Um, Customization. So with WordPress, you definitely have a lot more customization because of all the third-party plugins and the themes. Um, but that's really the only advantage is you can really tailor it. But once again, once you start doing that is when you get some security issues. For our system, it is kind of a little bit more limited, but we have top-notch designs. We have a designer on our team that is unbelievable, and we are providing you with the best, designs in the industry. So, and then maintenance, obviously, you have a team. You have us and our engineering team to help support you guys. And then if you were doing WordPress on your own, you're kind of on your own to maintain everything. So just in my opinion, which platform you should use. Obviously, I'm going to say the LA Premium, but I'm not saying you shouldn't use WordPress. If you are looking for that more customizable experience, there are certain plugins that you want to use. You're more than happy to do it. I just hope that you learned a little bit from this presentation to make sure that you're keeping things up to date and doing things properly. With our platform, obviously, you're getting top-notch service, top-notch um, platform, and the best, in my opinion, software out there that's going to help you guys perform. So in conclusion, as I said, our platform is obviously ideal for businesses, especially for Limo Anywhere. We did tailor this for the Limo Anywhere customers. So everything in the platform is specific to what you guys are actually doing. So you don't have to try to customize something on your own. We are the expert in this industry. So, that's what we're here for, to help you guys. And so if you're looking for something that's secure, reliable, and accessible, we're definitely the premier platform. And I'm going to pass it back over to Brian so you can kind of talk
Yeah.
about some of the platform itself.
Yeah, thanks, Howie. So I'm going to bring us home here with just a couple slides before we close and open up for questions. But important to note, right? I mean, we hear a lot about WordPress. We have a lot of web developers on our team who came from WordPress shops, and many of you may use agencies that use WordPress. And I think Howie, brought up some great questions for you to ask your agency. If you're using an agency that's built you a WordPress site, are they doing the things you need to do to make sure you're up to date? So I think that he really challenged you with some good questions to ask them. We made a decision probably a year and a half ago when we started down the path of really working hard to as a Limo Anywhere team to build great technology for our clients that stays relevant as things move fast like we're talking about, and we chose not to do WordPress for all the reasons that Howie laid out. So we're very proud of the tech stack that we have. We're very proud of the way it performs. And just as you saw in the graph, the search capability or the organic search just making the shift because we did all the things right with the tech stack. That's low hanging fruit. Of course, we offer services in SEO and things like that that really just kind of put the throttle down even more. But really important for us to dive into websites tonight. What you're looking at here, by the way, our platform for Limo Anywhere is a housing that has all of our tools. So whether you're doing paid ads with us, whether you're doing reputation management, SEO, call tracking, those types of things, you have one centralized system to go in and access your website. So you can launch your website and make an edit or drop a blog, or it even has a little AI generation tool if you want to make a small caption or something like that. It can help you do that. Of course, we have a team that does that as well. But really, just having this all-encompassing place for all of our tools, and we're going to continue to expand on those. And one centralized place for marketing is really, really important. One of the pieces of feedback that we always receive from our customers and our clients is, I'm tired of dealing with 4 or 5 different vendors to do all of my stuff, and I've got to log into all these different places to manage all my things. And that was the impetus for really building this Limo Anywhere platform for marketing that you see on the screen here. So that's really great. So how you can just keep going on to the next slide. So we do have packages. So just quick note for anybody listening tonight, there's we're for the webinar, we're running a $5.99 wave setup fee through February 7th. This is just a flavor of some of the packages, and I'm going to lead this into closing us up with the future webinars we're going to do. But our basic platform has the premium websites that how we went through tonight. It has that technology. It also has a lot of other things too. Our reputation management tool, our AI social media management tool, which you'll hear more about, the citation and listings tool, which is super important in the AI world. So all that lives in the LA Basic package for us. The Rocket adds paid ads to it. And so you have not just that core foundation that we're talking about to be strong in the digital ecosystem, but you also have a paid strategy to really drive traffic and fill up your bookings and really expand your business. So that component, and then the LA Booster is the combination of the three with local SEO. We do have a package, I think it's called Booster Plus, where you just have the website and the SEO plan. So there's really 4 plans. Brian Kalinowski can talk to you about that if you sign up for a demo with him. Important piece to note is we provide ad services in the North America, essentially the United States and Canada. Right now, I know we have a lot of clients around the globe, and so we're working to expand out around the globe. But right now, our real focus is on the U.S. and Canada for our products and our tools today. So I hope you guys get online with Brian and get a demo on his calendar and let him take you even deeper into some of the things we looked at today. He can look again at your website, at your and do an analysis and a consultation on some of the things that are going on in your world immediately, and see if this would be a good solution or right solution for you. So those are some of our other products. And then so to talk about kind of the next webinars, how if you can just pop it over one more. So these are the ones where the series of webinars you'll be hearing from us. We'll be sending out communication and messaging around which ones we're doing when. I don't have the calendar in front of me. Sarah, who's going to help us with questions, is working on the dates. So those will be coming out soon. But reputation management, huge when it comes to search engine optimization and being found. This is a major thing for AI as well, because if you're driving reviews, which is uber important for us. If you're driving reviews, that is also a signal for AI, and that's also a signal for search and organic search. So we're going to talk about reputation management and how that's being impacted and what we need to be thinking about to amplify reviews. In our basic package, we have a tool that is part of the add-ons program that you get with basic to actually get reviews from your clients. We're going to do a whole series or a whole section or a whole webinar on advanced SEO. This is a hot topic. We get tons of questions around this. SEO is changing like wildfire. It's moving super fast. So we're really coming up with some new cool ways to stay relevant, stay top of the search engines from an organic standpoint. Listings management, I mentioned this too. It's really important. I won't get into the details of it, but making sure you're properly listed on the directories on all over the web really has an impact on AI and search through AI. So we'll do a whole session on that. Text and email strategies to drive new business and repeat business. We have some tools around that, but really important if you want to run a promotion around the holidays or something to drive more traffic, or your bookings are low, you may want to drop a campaign out like that. Of course, paid digital. We've got some really cool strategies we're using now on the blended paid. So we'll share some techniques and strategies around blended paid to really dominate search and use that right strategy. One of the benefits, of course, being Limo Anywhere is we have a lot of data insights that we can leverage there. And then one of the upcoming roadmap pieces, and we'll do a whole webinar on this, and we'll probably talk a little bit about this in Las Vegas, is our AI chat and inbox. So really having a chat bot. Some of you already have some of those on your websites today. We've got one that's really intuitive that works with our system. So we'll be talking more about that and giving customers the ability to ask questions when you're asleep or you don't have somebody to answer the phone. So all that is coming. So these are our mini series of webinars that we're rolling up. And so I thank everybody for joining us. And I'm going to pass it over to Sarah because I know there's a lot of questions coming in. And so we'll just go ahead and get through the questions. We've got about 6 minutes, Sarah, to get through a few of these, and then we'll close.
Right. Thanks for that handoff, Brian. Yeah, so it does look like we have a few questions that came through. If you have any last minutes, feel free to go ahead and drop them in the Q&A chat, and we'll try to get to those before we close out. So the first question we have here is, what exactly is ADA accessibility and why is it so important? I think that might be one for Howie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ADA accessibility is the American Disability Act. And so it basically protects people with disabilities to have access to what they need. And like I mentioned, like just like a building needs to be accessible, or parking lots need to be accessible, it has to be handicapped spots with certain distances so that they can get their wheelchairs in and out. Um, or a building has to have a ramp if they have stairs to the front door. It's the same type of concept for your website. So your website has to be accessible. And the bulk of it is going to be people that have vision disabilities. That's kind of the biggest disability, but there's a lot of different other disabilities out there. So it's just making sure that you're giving the same opportunity to someone that doesn't have these disabilities, uh, the same viewing. So it's stuff like having proper image alt tags. There's also some stuff behind the scenes of the way that screen readers will read the website. So with our system, when you do an image alt tag, and what that means is there's an actual description of the image. And then most people, what they'll do is they'll just put like R as the image alt tag. Ours actually uses an AI technology to read, it views the image and will put a full description. So if someone's using a screen reader, it will actually give them a detailed enough description of what that is. So if they can't see that image, they actually know what's there. So that's kind of what an example of what the ADA feature is. Like I said, I can go into a lot of deep details of this. There's probably enough for a whole webinar in itself. So we'll probably have to keep that to another time. So
Great. Thank you, Howie. And here's one that came in that I think everyone would like to know. How long would it take to make the switch if I were to transition my site over to Limo Anywhere?
yeah, that's a great question. So we have a 30-day process. So when you sign your contract, there is a form that you need to fill out. Once we get that form filled out, it's 30 days from there, within 30 days. So it's about 10 days from when you fill out the form to when you get a preview of your website, and then we work together the remaining of those days. When we send you the preview, if you're happy with it, we can take your website live that day. So it's within 30 days of the form fill.
Right. And if I were to book a time to chat, could you do a full audit of my site so I can see if I need to make a change?
Yeah, I can take that one, Sarah. So yes, I would highly recommend you doing that with Brian Kanowski. He has some great tools to show you things around that in his analysis. So the link in the chat has, I believe it has his calendar. You can even just get on it, and he'll take you through, some of his tools that'll go in depth and make sure that you're, in compliance, or if you're not, he'll show you some ways to get there with the Limo Anywhere system.
Right. And when will the chat box feature become available?
So great, hot topic. We are in full development right now. So we hope to have something to talk about February, what is it, 23rd, when the show starts in Las Vegas. So it's hot topic. We are all in. There's some great AI technology in there too. And I'll save some of the special bells and whistles for later.
How do you work with subdomains in case we have more than one website for the same company?
All right, Howie.
Yeah, so you can have subdomains, you can have multiple domains pointing to the same website as well. It just depends on what you're doing. If you're trying to have a subdomain that is going to be its own website, we have to service it as two websites. So that's something you can discuss with Brian during your demo. He can kind of answer some of those questions on, what pricing would be and how we would handle that.
All right, I know we're coming up on time, but I'm going to try to get through a few more of these. We have quite a few questions. Can we keep our same website name if we made the switch?
Yes, it's actually preferred that you do keep the same website domain. you don't want to switch it because you already have some organic traffic going to that domain. So it's always best practice to replace your current website.
All right. Is SEO included in any of the plans, or is that an additional cost? I'm on Wix currently and I'm seeing no results.
Yeah.
That's standard
How
for
you want to talk
Wix.
about the you want to talk
Yeah.
about the Wix part? I can talk about the rest.
Yeah, so Wix is a very basic, it's meant for very simple website building, but offers very little SEO, and very little search engine just in general. Like it just doesn't perform. So the website has some basic SEO involved in it, but Brian can go into a little bit more details about our product offerings.
Yeah, so the websites as we build them really are solid on the on-page SEO, right? So all the alt image tags, all the titles, the headers, all the things that we build when we build the site, you're really coming out of the box strong on the on-page SEO. That's that's a foundation, right? You saw how that we showed you that graph. We saw how it moved just by doing that. But when you layer like advanced SEO, which is our offering, that's like putting gas on the fire. So you got to have the right technology first, the foundation, which we're talking about tonight, and then our SEO offering, which Brian can show you all kinds of cool things about how this works. Our SEO offering is just putting gas on top of it. So one of the questions we get a lot, and how I can probably speak to it, that's probably another webinar, is like, I just want to use my existing site. Can you put your SEO platform on top of it? The problem is if your site doesn't have the foundation and it doesn't have these things we talked about tonight, no matter how much gas you try to put on it, it's not going to go fast. So having that proper tech stack and the things we talked about tonight is the first piece, and then you're ready to go for that advanced SEO where you can really drive a lot of traffic while you're sleeping and get a lot of leads and a lot of bookings.
Yeah, it's kind of like putting a V4 engine in a Cadillac Escalade. You're not going to get very far with it. So it's, you have to have a solid platform to really make it work.
All right. And I'm going to do one last question because I think it's important for everyone too. Do I own the website or is there a buyout at the end? So it sounds like if they were to do a website with us at LA.
Do you want me to take that, Howard?
Yeah, you could take it.
Yeah, so the website, so we do all the hosting, the platform, everything's on the tech stack we've built, right? So if you decided someday you want to leave, it's like a house, right? So that we'll take all your furniture, all your images, all the content, we'll pack it up in a zip file, we'll send it to you, and you can go do whatever you want with it. We don't take your domain, you can take your domain with you. So that's typically how it's structured.
Yeah, you're basically like leasing a website from us in a sense, or renting a website from us.
All right. And I know that we had a lot more questions. If you were to sign up for a demo with Brian, then he'd be happy to answer that. We're also going to be sending out a follow-up email with a recording of this webinar. So feel free to just reply to that email and we can get back to you that way as well. But thank you so much for your time, everyone. We really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you at our next webinar and we hope you have a great night.
Good night.